Many people have a difficult time shifting their habitual mind from a scarcity-based manner of thinking to a consistent, abundance-based manner of thinking. When a person is rooted in scarcity, both in mind and physical reality, they often unknowingly act in ways that keep them stuck in circumstances that align with lack. In addition, they may resort to doing things that make them feel undignified and subject themselves to experiences they aren't proud of. As you may know, our mindset determines whether we travel on the road of lack or on the road of abundance. One road is paved in struggle, scraping, and a life not fully lived, and the other is filled with freedom, inspiration, and fresh experiences at every turn. The most important thing to note is that in any moment we can choose to change which of these roads we travel on. An abundance mindset flows from a deep inner sense of personal worth and dignity. It is a consistent mental acceptance that there is plenty of everything for everyone. This type of disciplined focus opens a person to new possibilities, options, creativity, motivation, and experiences. As the famous quote suggests, the secret to having it all is believing you already do. Following are 5 ways to begin believing that you truly are abundant. 1. Reclaim your dignity. Experiencing lack in any area of life doesn't indicate incompetence or unprofessionalism. It doesn't make a person a second-class human being. Scarcity does not dictate a lowering of self-esteem. We each have the ability to make a decision to stop tolerating the indignities of scarcity. Just because there is some form of lack doesn't mean that there needs to be acceptance of rudeness from others or allowing ourselves to feel less than because of someone else's actions or what is being experienced. Willingness to accept this type of behavior from others is optional, as is how we choose to feel about it. Realize that regardless of any current situation that appears to be rooted in lack, you still deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. This is your right as a human being, but you must be willing to enforce that right in every area of your life. Reclaiming your dignity also means refusing to beat yourself up, even when you've made mistakes. You do not have to feel inferior just because some aspects of your life haven't been working so well. Forgive yourself for any perceived failures and make it a determined goal to stand tall from this point forward. 2. Expand your definition of abundance. When people are stuck in scarcity, they often identify abundance solely with financial or material wealth. Abundance is translated as money in the bank, having no debt, a beautiful home, and quality possessions. This is the socially conditioned version of abundance most of us learn from childhood. The problem with this model is that it creates mixed feelings about having those things. Many feel there's little point in ending up with lots of money and all of the stuff if they're lonely and unhappy. After all, money is simply the middleman to what is truly wanted from life. The process of redefining, expanding, and customizing the definition of abundance puts a person closer to tipping an abundant life in their favor. This process is different for each person, but most of the time it involves replacing an excessively restricted definition of abundance with a more expanded version. Instead of abundance being just about money, the model expands to include good health and energy, positive feelings, fun experiences, happy relationships, new encounters, and spiritual alignment. Take the time to clearly define what it is that you truly want from life. Realize that money is simply an exchange for these things and not what you actually seek. A limited version of abundance stifles motivation and inspiration. It's only when we ask for the total package that we begin to summon the inspired ideas and motivated actions that will make it real. 3. Remove lack from your vocabulary. Very much in alignment with the previous point given, people with an abundant mentality believe there's plenty of everything in the world. Although money is a natural byproduct of this disposition, they also view the entirety of life as an abundant resource. This includes love and relationships, opportunities, good health, supportive people, and freedom. They believe they can afford what they want in life because life is always delivering good to them. Their dominant attitude and words state, "I can afford that," and they do. A person with the mentality of lack prefers to believe that there are limited opportunities, resources, relationships, love, and wealth. They see life as having only so much, and if someone has a big piece of what they view as the only pie, it means less for everyone else. They consistently say, "I cannot afford that," and that is what transpires. Saying this statement whenever an opportunity arises reinforces the belief and forms that exact pattern as reality. This seemingly innocent utterance creates limitations within the mind that in turn produce limited actions. If you choose to have an abundant mindset, begin today to consciously remove such words as "can't afford," "struggle," "scrape," and "broke" from your vocabulary and replace them with the opposite. It may feel unnatural at first, but your habitual mind will eventually take the cue and deliver fresh opportunities that align with the new beliefs it begins to form. 4. Become proactive instead of reactive. Individuals with an abundance mindset carry a positive attitude and take a proactive approach to life. Rather than waiting for things to happen and then reacting, they strategically plan for the future and create a plan of action for the long term. By forming strategies that point towards specific goals, we can flip any perceived obstacle into an opportunity. This removes any power it may seem to have had. Create a solid plan of action. Face any challenges with optimism and view each moment as a growth experience towards your desired goal. This is a great way to move past old reactionary methods of responding that keep a person stuck in a repeat of outdated and unwanted patterns. Choose to see each outcome as an opportunity for you to reach your target rather than allowing emotional responses to dictate these types of patterns. By taking a proactive stance, anything that appears to hinder the movement towards an abundant objective can be looked at as merely a small stepping stone. In addition, when a master plan is in place, it makes it much more difficult for a person to be swayed by anything perceived to be in the way. 5. Break up with lack. We each have the opportunity to begin a new relationship with life. By surrendering to the fact that the old relationship with lack and scarcity isn't working, there can be acknowledgement that it has to change. The relationship with life is a mirror, so you have to change first. And when you change, life will change because it is a reflection of you. Renegotiate your relationship with life by choosing to stop resisting what your experience gives you and working with it in a more cooperative manner. For example, give all of your circumstances the benefit of the doubt. Choose to believe that the universe is always on your side regardless of what is happening, until old patterns clear themselves of your path. Make life your ally by discarding any mentality of being a victim. Be open and flexible to all opportunities, and remove any bitterness that might arise. In other words, find a way to interpret life's attitude towards you and your experience as loving, playful, and always working for you. Think of it as a partner that is consistently committed to helping you get what you want. Decide firmly that the universe wants you to be happy and to enjoy an abundant existence. With this type of friendly and unobstructed attitude, it will give you all that it has. Before people shift into abundance, they often begin to reframe their years of scarcity. They realize that looking at those years with stress, frustration, and resistance isn't such a good idea because they're filling their mind with painful memories and their emotional states with tension and anxiety. With decisiveness, there can be a commitment to stop accumulating emotional baggage that creates even greater harm. Even if the external scarcity remains for a while, it makes no sense to wrap it up in a bow of stress. The experiences may not be pleasant, but any added suffering is purely optional. Ask yourself, after I've been living on the abundant side of the road for many years, how will I look back on my scarcest years? Will they stress me out? From this vantage point, you can see that it wouldn't be to your advantage, or even ordinary, to feel stressed if those years are in your past. You'll probably look back on those years with compassion, understanding, and possibly even gratitude for what you've learned about yourself in the process. Begin imagining the more abundant you asking yourself these questions and feeling the response you may have towards them. To leave scarcity behind, tune into that great creator spirit lying within you and allow it to come forward. Let it out to play without restrictions. Take the stance that you will stop trying to force your creative spirit to solve any financial problems you're experiencing, and that you will let it soar in the direction it wants to go. When you shine in the face of scarcity, scarcity will no longer have power over you. The path you have traveled thus far is not set in stone. This is the beauty of life. You can choose the road of abundance. Deciding to change paths is the first step.